It's the Mandalorian Heist episode. How was it? Find out right now. Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It was a long wait. It felt like forever until I got my next Mandalorian fix.
Right.
And I'm so happy because it was another banger-ass episode. Hell yeah, it was freaking awesome. It was a heist episode. And I just got done. It's ironic because I just got done watching Rick and Morty that did sort of a heist parody stuff, making fun of this kinds of stuff. But regardless of whether it used a lot of the heist movie tropes, it was still really, really good, well executed. We finally got to see Bill Burr. Well, let's before I jump, I'm all excited. Before I jump into the review, let me thank our sponsor, Stardust app, which we're uploading unique and content on there, reactions to the episode, engaging with our community on there. If you guys will click the link down below, download the app if you haven't already. React to one of our reactions, and every time you do that, and hashtag or follow us at AngryJoe Show, we get $1, so it directly supports the show. Thank you guys so much for donating to our show, essentially, and for Stardust for cooperating with us and putting this together and allowing us to do this. So definitely check out Stardust app. So jump right into the episode. What did you guys think?
For me, it was a longer week because last week's episode was a little bit disappointing for me.
Too short.
Like, I needed more, and this one, I was like, yes, this is what I expected from this.
Joe, bring the mic a little closer to your face. Yeah.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So basically, this episode, 42 minutes. Thank you very much. This is closer to what we want to see. It's always so nerve-wracking going over to the episode thumbnail and seeing what that minute, and I was totally satisfied with the length of this episode. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought the length was good. It was, it was nice seeing. There was the first 5 minutes of the episode. You see the Mandalorian interacting with someone he had worked with before. Mm-hmm. They had a relationship. They had dialogue that made sense, and you get the backstory without having like a character like Toro come in and go like, "I'm a new bounty hunter. Help me! All right, and I'm gonna shoot you now." And so they get to develop these characters, and you care about the characters more when you have more interaction with them, and you're not forced into just accepting that they are what they are.
I thought he had some interaction with Toro, though.
No, I watched it twice. It was still bad the second time. You
just didn't like it. Well, surprisingly, a lot of people in our comment section liked Toro for the character that he was. This sort of kind of, I guess they made up an own story for him. They call him like a rich kid who is trying to be a wannabe gunslinger.
If you have to write fan fiction to make something good or make sense, the character is bad.
Well, I thought he was good as a sniveling weasel. It's out of place,
sure, yeah,
except for the actor. Because if you look there at the end of the episode, you know how they show those murals? Mm-hmm. Dude, he looks so fucking cool in the murals. And then you see him in real life and you're a little disappointed. He was actually the son of a famous actor. It's eluding me right now. I think it was... I think somebody in Inglourious Bastards. But anyway, let's get to the stuff we forgot last episode before we continue further into The Prisoner, which was this episode. So last episode, stuff we forgot, Mos Eisley is how it's pronounced. I don't know, Star Wars fans.
Never pronounce anything right.
I never pronounce anything right, guys. If you're going to point out how I mispronounce things all the time, we'll be here a while.
Paul Rudd the other day.
And Paul Rudd. And another thing is I do have a little bit of dyslexia, so sometimes I will get stuff mixed up, but that wasn't that. They did a High Ground reference, which is always good. That's the Star Wars prequels. We missed that. Bounty Hunter shooting him down. Now, we said, what the hell? He was shooting him 20 times. How did he, and they were like, Joe, the Bounty Hunter wasn't trying to kill the Mando. He was trying to disable him, right? And that's true. He was shooting for the engines, but that wasn't necessarily our issue. Our issue was like, he's trying to disable him. Mando hits the brakes, shoots once, and the guy completely explodes. I guess he just got a shitty ship. Yeah. But I loved that sequence, loved that space battle, and it's no problem for me.
Best part of the episode.
Yeah, and then a lot of people were saying, you gotta. There's defenders everywhere because obviously the comment section is thousands of people. They're like, Mando's not getting soft. He says Mando he iced 2 of the 4 people he met that episode. The pilot he destroyed at the beginning, killed that dude, and Toro shot Toro dead. Maybe, supposedly, possibly, pretty much dead, unless they decide to bring him back.
They both were trying to kill him, though.
So, well, yeah, but I mean, no, that all contributes. He's not exactly, going to leave you alive. However, in this episode, we see a little bit more of that soft, and it's the episode itself saying that Mando has gone soft. Mm-hmm. Some of the characters in the episode.
He's warming his heart.
Yeah, so we've got the heist episode. Essentially, Mando lands his ship in an outpost, and this is kind of like a bounty hunter, smuggler, mercenary outpost. He's got history with this guy that he meets there, the head of the station, and he says that he's got a job for him. And honestly, and while this could be considered yet another filler episode, in the sense that it's not a part of the first arc, obtaining, the baby and protecting the baby, and it's not a part of the climax of the second arc that we thought we were going to get, because I thought this would maybe be 3-episode arc, new arc. I see what they're doing. They're doing like the Western type of serials where they're like little self-contained stories. And if these little self-contained stories are well executed, I've got no problem with it. And so that's what I looked at this episode. And retroactively, I kind of looked at the last episode like that as well, even though I still think it deserves that rating that we gave it. But I really enjoyed this heist episode. I thought that it was well executed. Let's talk about the individual bounty hunter crew that I'm going to put together a crew, you son of a bitch. I'm in. All right, so who are some of the crew?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, man. He kills in this episode. He's so damn funny. I freaking love Bill Burr already. So for me, I was nervous about, is he going to fit into the universe? Yes. Is he going to stick out like a sore thumb? No, he fit right in as a trigger man. That sarcastic attitude. They let him be funny. They let him be Bill Burr, right? Yes. That sarcastic, like Space Boston is around the corner.
He's from Space Boston. He's making fun of Gungans. They make fun of stormtroopers.
That was the best line.
And it gets real tense in the ship because, Mando is they're using his ship as the transportation to basically the heist point. And, there's a lot of tension there because it's like, can we trust these guys? Everybody's throwing their chests around, their weight around and acting like badasses. And at one point, they're like, let's see your face, Mando. Come on, show us your face. And he's like, what are you under there? What are you hiding? You a Gungan?
Well, yeah.
I wonder what you look like under there. Maybe he's a Gungan. Is that why you so don't want to show your face?
Misa want to hide my face? I did the Misa. Misa going to die, Annie.
But apparently, what is it? What's the girl's name?
Oh, the Twi'lek?
Yeah, they had a little romantic history.
Something like that.
Have you seen his face? He's like, a woman.
Oh, well, never tells.
Never reveals.
Yes. Well, the thing with Twi'lek. What do you think about that?
That was
Twi'lek,
my least one. I was like, what are you trying to go for? Like a horror? Like
are you a vampire? Yeah, you space vampire cat person that's overacting.
It's like hissing all the time. I was like, okay.
It did kind of seem
a bit.
Yes,
too much.
The director probably should have caught that. Now, obviously, Twi'leks in the Star Wars universe are known for being, a little sexual, a little alluring, very desirable. But I did think that her personality, obviously, she's supposed to be aggressive and the roguish, But it was a little bit of overacting. I only found 2 things wrong with the episode, and not really wrong, but just nitpicky things. That would be one of them. where it's just a little too much. Okay, so we have her character. Who else do we have? My man Clancy Brown,
On his back,
Starship Troopers. You know,
Highlander.
He was
and
the
Highlander.
muscle.
His character really reminded me of Kerrigan or Kiergan from
Highlander,
Highlander.
yeah.
I don't remember the actual villain's name, but he had that gruff voice, and I was like, oh my god, is that Clancy Brown? And it is, and I'm like, he is perfect to play this race. You know, that demon
The
look.
Deveronians, yeah.
Deveronians that we saw in in the original Star Wars and in the bar in the cantina, and I was like, that's so cool. So he's the muscle of the group, and at one point basically grabs one of these big ass droids and just beats the shit out of it and fucking throws it across the ship, destroying another droid. So proving that he's definitely the muscle. Who else do we have on there? We've got the droid.
Yeah, the droid Zero.
So obviously there's a droid pilot, and he's like, I'm much more efficient than organics and stuff. And of course, Mando is always
smarter, but yet no.
Yeah, Mando always has a problem with droids. We've seen that throughout, and they push it here again to remind you guys that he has a problem with droids. And so as this group comes together, they board his ship, and the robot right away is injecting himself into his ship, making love to his ship, but he kind of notices some old transmission logs, and he's like, interesting. And you're like, oh shit, are these guys gonna eventually find his secret?
Yeah, because the crew accidentally opens up a hatch and
Yeah.
they see the
Basic
child.
video.
They're like,
Right.
what is this? Is this your pet?
Oh,
Like, oh no, you
no.
knew something was gonna go down. Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily, Bill Burr looked at it more like a pet rather than, wait, is this thing valuable? Do I need to, know about it? But they kind of treated it like a pet. And so eventually they get to their target, which is a new Republic prison ship. And so this is obviously a formation after the destruction of the Empire, and so it's got the new government logos, and they go on it. Supposedly it's only manned by droids, right? But as they're exploring the ship and they're looking for their target, they notice that there is one pilot there, and he's in kind of, it reminds me of the old Rebels.
He called him Egghead.
Yeah,
Bill
that
Burr
was
called him Egghead.
Bill
It's like,
Burr.
nice shoes, Egghead. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is perfect.
And the shoes were all
You know who that
shiny,
was, right?
making fun of
That's the voice of Anakin in Clone Wars, right?
What?
Yeah.
Damn, look at you with all your Easter eggs,
Nice.
fool. And there were more Easter eggs. We'll get to that in a second here that we actually caught this time. But so, it gets into this tense situation because, everybody draws their guns. We have a Mexican standoff, and it's like, come on, man. There's four of us, one of you.
Remind
What
me
are
of The Office.
What are you
Yeah.
doing here? Put that weapon down. And previously the crew, especially the Twi'lek, is like, you're getting soft, Mando,
Yeah.
and she's noticing kind of the things that we're
No
noticing.
one has to die. He was like, yeah.
He
they
doesn't
do.
want the Republic, soldier to die. But as they're arguing, and it looks like Mando's actually going to defend the Republic soldier, because he starts pointing his weapons at his own crew. Bill Burr's character, who's been a bit of a dick the whole time.
Yeah, he just doesn't want the Republic coming down on them with X-Wings. So
Yeah.
he's just like, look, this is really important.
Yeah.
Let's
And
not
it-
piss this guy off.
Exactly, and it didn't really make much sense because it was Bill Burr who noticed what it was. He's like, the Republic's going to come down us unless, and somebody's like, is that true? He's like, yes, it's true. But then later on, when Mando draws the guns, he's like, oh, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? But I guess maybe that was
He's
a
trying to
tactic
play
of
it off,
bluffing,
yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
play it off because they're in the middle of a Mexican standoff. So I see what you're saying. But eventually the Twi'lek takes care of that situation, freaking murders the guy.
Space cat vampire.
Yeah.
What did you call her? A Halloween?
Yeah, it was like she worked at one of the haunted houses. A haunted house. Yeah, it's like, stop it. What are you doing?
You trying to be sexy or what?
Freaking
Yes.
the kids out.
Anyway, she kills him, takes care of that problem. Eventually, they find the target. No, before that, a big droid detachment, the 5 droids show up, and they've got the team pinned. And that's when we get to see Bill Burr's cool little, he's got a little shoulder fucking pistol cannon, which is pretty cool.
I thought they were gonna do the Predator thing where like the Mando's on the side, is gonna shoot himself.
You thought they were going to do that? I knew
It's
they
like,
weren't
oh
going to
no,
do
and then
that.
it cuts away.
No way. Shut up, Google. Anyways, so basically, but then Mando comes up behind him, and he's like, ripping these droids apart. And that kind of plays into his character that he's prejudiced against droids, really hates them.
And those droids are made, they're like IKEA droids, because he was just like pulling their arms off. It's like, aren't these guys supposed to be made out of metal or something? But no.
That's true. They were New Republic branded droids, so maybe they don't build them like they used to, I guess. But takes care of business. Eventually, they get to the target, and the target is the Twi'lek's brother, who is also must be a bounty hunter himself. The original station owner wanted to break him out, and he's legit under arrest by the New Republic, making this mission much more dangerous than a simple extraction from other mercenaries or something like that. But when they do kill the guy, they are under a time limit now because the tracker was activated as the guy died.
20 minutes.
So you're having basically a squadron show up, and it's going to destroy anything that's got the tracker, and it was just for me, even though I've seen it before many times. I still enjoyed it.
Yes,
it was successful. Like we talked about this before. This is a show that's filled with tropes and things that we've seen before 100 times, but it does it really well. So how can you complain when it does it well?
Yeah.
So then the obvious happens. Once they get their target, they shove Mando in there. They press a button and lock him in.
Don't
betray him. So we knew it was coming, but that's what I'm saying. I don't mind because I'm like, I'm fun. I'm involved. I'm in it.
Yeah, I was a little sad too because I was like, no, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, I want him to be on the team.
Yeah,
no, he's not going to be on the team. But you have to realize we need good characters that we like to oppose the Mandalorian too. We need some villains that don't get killed right away like Toro, right? We need somebody who could be a reoccurring thing, and we'll talk about how he might be in the future. So they betray him, but then it turns into like a little horror film, right?
Yes.
If you have epilepsy, probably don't watch this show because there's constant flashing.
It was cool.
Because once you get to the alarm stage, this white light in red corridors. And so everybody's sort of isolated, and Mando is looking at them on the monitors. He's got the situation under control. Even on his own ship, another situation is developing, a subplot with the droid who turned around and noticed this little, Yodel checking him out, his little baby Yoda. He's like, what the? And he grabs his gun. That gun right there. So we see no, you don't do it. Can you even see it on the camera?
Yes.
But so he grabs that gun. And Yodel, basically hides, and he's like, look at it.
It was like a horror movie because, he turns around, he sees him, he turns around, grabs his gun, and he's gone. And I was like, what is going on? Is he gonna attack him?
I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. Are we gonna get like a Home Alone? But unfortunately, we didn't get a Home Alone situation. We didn't get a Gremlins where he builds like a
That's what it felt
bow
like.
and arrow.
He's like all peeking around the corners and trying to hide.
Right. We don't get that. Essentially, Yodel goes back into his little room, and towards the end of the episode, the droid opens up the door, and Yodel's like, oh, surprise, and then he's like maybe gonna use his power on him, but at the last second, the robot gets shot, and the baby Yoda is like, like, I've got a new force power I didn't know
The Tom
about.
Hanks moment.
But it was the Mandalorian who shot. He saved him in the end. And then Yodel gives him a little head nod, like a very noticeable, all right, we did it. We are a group. We're together. But, okay, so that was the conclusion of that subplot. But how does he take care of some of the other bounty hunters?
The Deveronian, he tries to lie. He tries to outstrength, which seemed kind of dumb.
Did he charge him?
No,
They
he
were
tried
trying to go hand to hand.
He wraps like the rope around his neck and is gonna try to
right.
choke him a little bit, and then the
From
guy
top.
he just practically grabs him. He goes no, and then they get into a good fight. We
Oh, yeah,
learn
it's
that
great.
Deveronians are fireproof because they look
Yep.
like
Yes.
the devil. So apparently they're fireproof.
Makes
We learned
sense.
something new.
And then it looked like he smashed by a door, and he was going to overcome the door, and then the second set of blast doors were going to slice him in half.
And we were all like,
oh,
we
man.
were like,
Oh, he's
oh,
dead.
shit.
Yeah, that guy's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Moving on, the Twi'lek notices this. She's on her way to help out, her bounty hunter friend. And Mando ends up coming, sneak attack. But she throws her little daggers. I'm like, man, bitch, this guy has Beskar. You ain't doing shit unless you can maybe.
She did get him. She got him in the shoulder.
Maybe get in between, so she got him a little bit. Now, if she was smart, she would have poison tipped those, and I thought that maybe that would come into play
She
later
activated
on.
them, right? She
Yeah.
it turned. Yeah, so maybe they do something.
Maybe it's a vibro, I don't know, but no, it doesn't seem to have affected him. He got hurt a little bit, but he takes care of her. We don't really get to see what happens to her.
They're in a bit of a standoff where he's got
I
her.
think he's got her with
her
a
wrapped
knife
up.
on the throat. So.
Yeah, but we don't see what happens
what
to her.
happens,
It
yeah.
cuts out, and so I'm like, I think what we're getting here is these guys are gonna survive, right? He's not
Yeah.
gonna kill anybody.
It is Disney.
Next we go to Bill Burr.
The best one. This one was cool.
Yeah, go ahead and explain this.
So Bill Burr's walking through the corridors, and like doors are opening, and the Mandalorian, and then
He's
it's
taking out robots
yeah,
as
it's
well.
flashing like the red strobe lights going because they're in full alert. And then you see for just a brief second you see the Mandalorian behind him.
Yeah.
And then the strobe goes out, and then you see the man, and then he's a little bit closer, and then a little bit closer.
Reminded me a little bit of the Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One, where it's like, oh my God, like this guy's scary. He's coming up.
Yeah.
And then he nabs him.
All you hear is Bill Burr screaming.
Ah!
And fade to black.
Fade to black. And why are we fading to black so many different times? And I was like, okay, well, it's because this crew is probably going to survive in the end. But we don't see that yet. Instead, we see these guys try to betray him. He overcomes it, and it was just a great little climax. Gets back in his ship, saves Yodel, flies back to the the mercenary outpost, and you got to believe, this guy who offered him the job, he just seemed very shifty, very untrustworthy. He's like, I don't trust nobody. And Mandalorian knows this guy probably authorized this shit to happen, you know what I mean? Because he's like, at one point, he's like, anything that Bill Burr says comes directly from me. Any decision he makes is coming directly from me. So that's how you justify, well, you're at fault too. So the Twi'lek that they save tries to escape, but he realizes Mandalorian's there, and he's the smart one. He's got a gun, and he could try to kill Mandalorian, take his ship, but he's like, no. Mandalorian has done this, and he says, look, why don't you do your job? You have a code, don't you? That's the smartest thing you could do, because you have no other option. Luckily, the Mandalorian does have a code. He needs some money, too, in order to help with his mission.
You gotta buy frogs and stuff. You gotta feed Baby Yoda.
Yes, he eats a lot of frogs. So, he takes him back to the ship, to the station. The two guys embrace. It looks like, oh, they're old pals. He saved him. And he's like, well, you did do the job, gave him the money. And I was thinking to myself, he's got the tracker. He's going to leave the tracker here on this space station, and a big Republic cruiser is going to show up and blow the whole station up. Yeah. So he gets back into his ship, and they're all like, and they have to go one step further just to show how fucking assholes and how evil they are.
Disney has to prove that they are bad guys.
I know.
Kill him.
And he's like, kill him. And then I thought they were just going to be guns, but no, a fighter was showing up. It was like, a fighter? Mando is going to blow that fighter up if you go after him. But so the fighter's about to launch, and that's when the Twi'lek male realizes that, oh shit, what is this? And then the station owner's like, oh fuck, and the station owner runs off. So he might have gotten on the ship, an escape pod or something. And then what happens? Boom, we get 3 X-wings. hyper jump in, and they're old X-Wings. They're not the Republic, the new Republic X-Wings that are like T-57s or something. I'm getting real nerdy with the lore. I forgot there's a new one. And you could tell the difference between the X-Wings with their fuselage. The 4 fuselages in the new ones, they're like halved. In the old ones, they're full. And these were old ones full. And it's so cool to see these pilots in their cockpits, and they're like, we got our signal. We got the tracker coming. And who were these pilots?
Well, we got Dave Filoni, we got the director of this episode, and then the Chow, who's leading up.
Deborah Chow, who is going to be doing the. He told me this. I was like, no way! And I was like, I knew I kind of recognized at least Dave Filoni. I was like, these don't really look like your typical, cool-looking X-wing pilots, but they still did the job, and it's cool because the directors now get to be these 3 directors of different Mandalorian episodes get to be X-wing pilots in the Star Wars universe. Anyway, it's so freaking cool because then they notice, they're launching a gunship to make it even worse. Well, we're going to kill you anyway because we got this signal here, but you're going to attack us. Pop, 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 pop. And you get those really cool X-Wing sounds. And this is why I would love to see a Disney Plus series having to do with, a squadron, like Rogue Squadron or Black Squadron or whatever you want to call it. Because this shit was awesome. And basically they start tearing up not only destroy that fighter, allowing Mandalorian to basically escape, but the whole outpost. Now, we don't actually see the outpost explode, so it could be that station owner maybe escaped and we might see him again. But we do see a very quick end scene where the Twi'lek is in prison. So it turns out he didn't stab the knife through her neck. He didn't kill Bill Burr by snapping his neck. Instead, they put them all into prison. But what me and Alex was like, wait, what the fuck?
That guy got smashed to death.
No. Because Clancy Brown's character, this, what is the race? Deveronian, this red dude, this demon, he's like, like he's got a headache. I was like, that fucking door completely closed. I was like, that dude is dead. So that was the other thing that I was like, wait a minute. But I guess they want to use this bounty hunter crew again in order to oppose the Mandalorian. And frankly, I'm okay with having Clancy Brown live because I liked him anyway.
Oh, yeah. Clancy Brown and Bill Burr were great.
Is one of the better, performers in that. Not overacting, just acting like the muscle, unlike the Twi'lek. Yeah. But no, I'd love to see them face off again in maybe season 2 because I don't think there's enough episodes left.
There's 2 episodes left
for these guys to come back.
We know nothing about Baby Yoda.
Right.
And we have 2 episodes left.
We don't
he needs to make money.
Maybe we don't need to know anything, and they're just going to do the whole, season. There is no arc.
That's going to be because maybe they follow the Western serials. The next episode is yet another self-contained story, and the final episode maybe will be an extended hour 30-minute long climax where the character comes in. Because I did want to say in my Stuff We Forgot section, which I forgot, is that a lot of people are thinking that the end scene that we talked about was maybe Boba Fett showing up and looking at the dead assassin and, that Boba Fett's chasing. I was like, no, that doesn't look anything like Boba Fett. The boots are wrong. The cape is too long. This is actually the Moff character. What's the guy's name? Giancarlo Esposito's character, Moff Gideon, who we see in black in the trailers. And he was checking on his assassin. And if you notice, that girl, that chick, she was dressed in kind of Imperial colors.
Yeah, he's an old Imperial leader who's actually...
now dead. And so if you don't know a Moff, he kind of controls a system, has resources, has manpower, and this is who was probably on the trail of the Mandalorian. I thought we were going to see him in here. I thought we were going to start setting that up, but no, we got the self-contained Heist episode, The Prisoner. Now, is this prisoner going to, show up again? Doesn't look like it because it looks like he got blown the hell up. So again, kind of doesn't really, add to the story, but it's a great,
this one was
self-contained in additional. And so I wouldn't even be mentioning this. I wouldn't be feeling this nervousness if it wasn't an 8-episode season, right? If this was like a 12-episode or a 20-episode season, as we see in other television shows. But no, we only have 2 more episodes. So what I'm hoping for is that these final 2 episodes hold at least 42 minutes or more. That would be quite satisfying. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it, guys. Let's go to our final verdicts.
I'm going to give this a 9. I really enjoyed this one. I love the characters.
We are
I
back,
love the
baby.
dialogue. Yes. And
Even though we
the
weren't
action was
gone
great.
in the first one.
And you got to see some cool X-Wings. 9 for me.
I'm also going to give this a 9.
Damn.
This is the tropiest thing that I've ever seen, but it was done so well.
Yeah.
It was satisfying. I like the vast majority of the characters. There's some weird inconsistencies. Like, if you want to go have 30 minutes where we nitpick, we can do that. Like, but it was just done well. Like, set out to do something. They accomplished that task really well. And I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good. Watch it.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 was in my head pretty much the second the episode ended. I really enjoyed it. I thought that maybe because I laughed out loud that it was a Heist episode and I just seen Rick and Morty and they had made fun of it, I was like, oh shit, is that gonna color my experience and make it more eye-rolling? But no, it was just well executed, well done. I just love the Star Wars universe, the set design, the way it's filmed, the weapons, the laser blast, the direction of turning it into it's a heist film, then it turns into a horror, then it turns into an action, then it turns into a space battle, outpost attack. Just fantastic stuff, man. And so 9 out of 10. This show is firing on all cylinders. Yeah, Toro's episode wasn't that good, but it's still at a high quality. Now, realize that our ratings are within the season.
Yes.
So say, for example, a Mandalorian 7, like last episode, could be an 8 or a 9 in any other series. So that's just keep in mind that our ratings are, we want to do a final season rating when the whole thing's done, and then individual episodes within the season. So this one went way up. It had everything. So I'm really looking forward to the last 2 episodes. I've got to think.
I'm sad.
Well, we've got 2 weeks to wait now.
I'm sad.
No, we don't. Actually, guys, we don't have to wait long at all. We're going to see a new episode on Wednesday. So instead of releasing on a Friday, they let the Rise of Skywalker film release on Friday. So they moved an episode up to Wednesday. So it launches on Wednesday, and then next week, and then I think we get another episode really soon after that as well. So I'm really happy.
It's going to be a big Star Wars week.
Good. Yeah, dude. Hardcore Star Wars week. Looking forward to it, guys. Also, I'll be putting up a Star Wars discussion video that me and Alex did while Joe was gone, and we just kind of discussed the state of the Star Wars universe for about an hour, what we need to see in Rise of Skywalker for that to be successful. But so far, Mandalorian has been successful, and it's been continuing to be successful. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to thank our sponsors yet again here, Stardust app, for making these episodes possible and our series successful. And if you don't know, there is a contest.
Don't have
When
long.
do we
You've gotta
find
do it.
that?
Don't have long, because the last episode is when they're going to be selecting a winner to send you to Galaxy's Edge, which has that new Rise of the Resistance ride, which I couldn't help myself. I watched it on YouTube. I watched the whole ride, and I kind of
What?
spoiled the
You
ride
can't-
for me.
why
You
would you do
can't
that?
experience
I-
a ride on
No.
YouTube.
I
He's
know.
like,
Don't do
"Bleh."
what I did, but it looks cool as hell, and I still want to go even after seeing the ride experience. So Stardust wants to send you and one friend fully paid, all expenses paid. Stardust, you guys are really awesome. So, and how do you enter? Well, you download the app, you follow us at AngryJoeShow, and do a reaction to one of our reactions, and that way they can see your video and they can select between those videos that you have reacted to our videos. And guys, it's worth it. All expenses paid, so do it. Thank you so much to Stardust, and thank you to you guys for watching these and experiencing this with us. I like your comments down below with the stuff we forgot, and y'all making fun of me and making me feel like an idiot. So continue doing that. But you can't bother me, because I got all smiles. Star Wars is great. I bought a custom lightsaber. Hopefully it will get here by the time we review Rise of the Skywalker. I want to show you all that. And I finally pre-ordered my Baby Yoda. Joe, you just weren't good enough for me. I'm sorry. I can't take it home. I can't rock you to sleep.
It's the forehead, isn't it?
Can't bring you to my bed and have you sleep. So, but you know what sucks? It says it doesn't come out till May of 2020. I'm like, what the hell? Just make it. I mean, shit. So by the time I get the Baby Yoda, everybody gets the good Baby Yoda. We're going to be looking at season 2. So that kind of forces them to continue to use Baby Yoda, Yodel in season 2, right? And maybe he can talk. Because eventually I'm hoping that we see more. Or we develop Baby Yoda's character in the sense that he starts speaking, starts saying words, or that we at least learn a little bit about his backstory and what the purpose is of bringing him into the series and what the implications are. So I highly doubt that we're going to see him in Rise of Skywalker. I mean, he is alive, but I don't think they would go that far.
No.
Like I said, I do think that they'll maybe show off some force powers that we've seen him try to attempt, but that's about it. So anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And, yeah, we'll see you on the next episode, which is pretty soon here. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.